Hello? All right. Sorry about the whole issue about time. I didn't even set the backdrop up. We're just looking at arts and crafts time. I figure nobody cares about my mess anyway, right? Especially if you get a free Tireminder. All right, so we got 5 minutes.
Sorry.
You're fine. I just went live. Can you hear me, by the way, Adam? I kind of went real lazy and didn't even get all my stuff out. Great. Yeah, I'll tell the Facebook felon about that you said hi. For those of you that don't know, my wife's been in Facebook jail for a week or so. They keep giving her a few more days while she's there. I think they keep catching her with some contraband or something. Yeah, I got a little bit carried away with time. I'm not used to it being daylight so long outside. So we're getting ready to go to Pigeon Forge this afternoon. Not this afternoon. We're going Thursday. And we were in Tellico all weekend back in the woods. And so the truck and the camper was pretty nasty and muddy. So we had to wash it up. I figure at least since it's missing a fender, we can make it clean. For those of you that don't know, on our last trip to Vogel State Park, we came home and apparently I ran into something along the way. I still don't know what I hit. Apparently it's about $5,000 to $6,000 worth of damage that they're working into the body shop. But told my guy down at Shelburne RV, who's the local RV tech down here that I work with, that I just wrecked my camper so I could see his body shop. Not really. It still pisses me off. It's 9:27. We'll wait a few more minutes. Yeah, at least I work with that guy down there. So he's like, his body shop's busy. He told me after they did the estimate, I could just pick it up and use it. And we just work out in between trips and he'd get it fixed for me. Yeah. At least most of the damage is on the aluminum J channel at the bottom, which I guess is why they designed it that way. But it did also damage some of the slide trims and scratch some paint, some body shop type stuff. If it wouldn't have been dented the trim on the slide, I probably would have just tried to fix it myself with some new J channel. But then there's that needs a little bit of paint too around my door. It's really crazy because it looks like it was like a concrete pole or something. But I mean, that 1 inch where the slide sticks out when it's all the way in, that took the brunt of the force. I mean, it just barely scratched a couple of feet in front of that. And there's one tiny hole on the J channel there. But the brunt of all that force was just where that slide stuck out another inch. I would say that I planned it that way to try to minimize the damage, but I still don't know what I hit. I didn't even feel it till I got home, And then I went to the house and I went back over to the camper and I was like, oh, and I said some very choice words for a little while. And so ever since then, I've drove it over to the body shop to get the estimate, and I drove it back in Tellico, which is like boondocking, backwoods camping here. In the roads, there's like concrete cliffs and stuff on the sides of the roads, and I almost felt like I needed a chaperone to drive a little bit. I don't trust myself. But I didn't damage anything this time that I found yet. I did stop in on the way back, I passed a ammunition store in the next county, so I just decided to stop there and see if they had any ammo in. And when I turned in there, I actually felt and heard some scraping somewhere, and I wouldn't think my back end would scrape there, but it made me nervous as heck. But I went around there and didn't find anything. Hey, Justin and Christina, either or, welcome to the party. All right, so it's 9:30, so let's get on with this. Sorry about the delay tonight, guys. All right, so just so you guys know, I did pre-release this video to a couple of people in like a Facebook comment, and then Tireminder told me that I had some wrong information, so I updated the video, and neither one of those two people had commented on this video, so I didn't add them in, so in case somebody gets all crazy. But I just added the 2 extra entries here. So we have a whole total of 49 comments. I don't even really know why I do these giveaways because it's always like a 1 in 50 chance, but that's good for everybody out there, right? All right, so you got 47 plus the 2 that I added. So 49 comments, and we're going to hit the start button for the Tireminder 77. It is the system that I've been using. Daniel Tuttrell. Well, so he is the winner. He's been following me for a while, so I'm kind of glad that he won something. It's been here lately. It's been a few people that's followed my channel for a while that's been winning the giveaways at least. So we'll get in contact with Daniel. We will get this to him. Next giveaway that I have, oddly enough, I have a extendable ladder, and somehow I ended up with the second one that I didn't pay for. That's I don't know how. I still don't really know how that happened, but I got one, so we'll give it away at some point in time. I think we'll probably do that when we get 5,000 subscribers, somewhere around 3,400 right now, I think. And so, things are growing. I thank you guys for the support here. And even if a lot of people don't join in the giveaways, luckily, this one didn't really cost me anything. I'm paying for shipping and giving you some swag along the way too. You guys know I don't really do these live stream things. I finally got where I'm a little bit more comfortable in front of just doing the regular videos, but for some reason this kind of makes me nervous. I don't like it. Hey Michael, I see you found us. Sorry, I was trying to look earlier and we weren't online yet because I got sidetracked. Just reading over the comments here. If anybody has any questions or any ideas for upcoming videos. I wasn't sleeping. I was washing my camper and truck and 2 or 3 other cars. We kind of got all into it. It's the first time I ever used a foam cannon, so I was like a little boy. Yeah, I still remember that little patch up episode. That was pretty messed up, dude. Yeah, Forrest is talking about a situation. I met him in my other job. Yeah, unfortunately, these campsites, you know, they're pretty hard to get these days. That's why I went ahead and made reservations or have a plan even for places that don't do reservations up through New Year's Eve, and I've never scheduled that far out. Usually last couple of years we've done a longer trip at New Year's Eve, and so we went to first year we went to Myrtle Beach State Park. This year we went to Pensacola. Uh, my wife changed jobs this year because she was laid off through most of the COVID stuff. She finally found a decent job here, but she's not going to have off like the week of New Year's anymore. So we're going to have to change that up a little bit. But her entire work area is closed on the week of 4th of July. So looks like that's going to be our longer trip. We do have some pretty long trips planned this year, though. We're going to go to Michigan in June. And so we're going to go to Michigan, northern Michigan, visit my dad. And then on the way back, I'm going to go to a medical conference in Chicago. I gave my wife a list of places, and I said, "Where you want to go to a meeting at?" She picked Chicago. Worked in well with going to visit my dad at least. Not really a big city person, but So we're going camping in Chicago. There's actually somewhere in downtown Chicago that you can boondock in, but it costs like $30 a night, which I was still fine with that because it's going to be real close to where I was going to this conference. But the problem was that apparently if you tow your camper with a truck, they charge you $30 a night for each of those two things. And I'm not paying $60 a night to boondock with no electricity. I won't pay $60 a night hardly anyway. That's why I don't go to a lot of the resort type places. And then we're going to go west this year. So our Alaska cruise that we've been going to take the last 2 years was canceled again because we couldn't port through Canada. And so I had decided that we were going to go west next year, and we were going to use that for a plan B if we got canceled again. Got canceled again last week. And so in September, we're going to go to the Badlands, and we're going to boondock there at the canyons in the Badlands for a couple of days and do the Mount Rushmore thing. Then we're going to go to West Yellowstone and stay there 4 or 5 days. And then we're going to go to the Tetons for about 3 days. Let me see. Just looking at the comments here. I really like the foam cannon. I actually borrowed my neighbor's and it was broken. And so I noticed that the ad said when I looked at it, information on it online, they sell them at Walmart. So I just went to Walmart and bought another one. It was only like $20. I was actually going to get a more premium one, but that's the only one they had. And it worked pretty well. I liked that it was, put a nice thick layer of soap on there. I really liked it. Hardly ever use my pressure washer, and I need to get it out and run it more because we all know how those small engines do if they're not started every now and then. And I've really only been starting it about once a summer, so I'm trying to get it out and use it more, and I think we will with that. Valerie asked about an RV specific GPS. So I have a video on my Garmin. I think I have the 770. I really like it most of the time. Um, there's only there's it's a little quirky in a couple of things. I need to do an update on it. But number one, I like that it lets you know before you get to an exit. Like it shows you the picture of all the lanes in the highway and puts arrows on there of where you should and shouldn't be at on an upcoming road. I wish that would show a little bit further in advance, but I did learn like if you know there's a turn coming up in the next 3 or 4 miles, you can hit, I think it's the top left corner of the GPS, and it'll show you that a little bit early. And so that works good for me. The problem that I have with it is that it Bluetooths to my phone, and that part works, which that kind of aggravates me because every time my phone rings, it tries to answer my phone instead of my truck answering my phone. But it also gets the traffic information, and it's supposed to like update where you are. And so you can share that. Like when we go to Michigan, I share it with my dad, and it's supposed to show on the map like where we are at any given time because I gave him permission to see that. But those Bluetooth things that have to do with the traffic information and tracking you, they don't seem to work that well. It's also supposed to have, you're supposed to be able to use an app to get on your phone and kind of pre-plan. And I can't figure that thing out either. I'm not an idiot, but I always consider myself kind of a tech guy. But here lately, I'm starting to feel like my dad. I hope he's not watching this. So let's see. Yeah, good guy. I don't know about that. Not a lot of people watch my campground videos. Sometimes I wonder if I should keep doing them. But I feel like it helps people, but they're really not viewed all that much. And where we go when we do our trips, in for the time that it takes, in the people that have viewed it, I've kind of thought about stopping those particular series, but I really like to do them. You know, I like to try to help other people find a better spot than what I would find when I went somewhere, and we try to do it a little differently. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. Maybe I'm having a stroke. I do that all the time though. That's why I have to edit my videos a lot. Adam, I've not tried Harvest Host because the problem that I have with them, or is it Boondockers Welcome, which both are great plans. They both were had representatives when we were at the Our Village rally last year before COVID started. You know, kind of missed doing that this year. Of course, they didn't because of COVID, but I like both of those programs. But the issue is since we work, we never go really far enough away to really, you know, to use that as far as like an overnight stop or something like that. One thing that we did do this year that I've booked a few of that I've not tried yet, but I have reservations through, are some hip camps. Um, some of those. The thing that I really like to do when we go camping is I like to find a unique experience. And there's a lot of unique experiences in our area that I found on hip camp. I think that we're going near Helen, Georgia, sometime. I think it's next month, and we're staying at a horse farm. And it's like $20 a night, and it's boondocking, it's dry camping, which is kind of expensive for dry camping, but it's at a horse farm. My daughter loves horses, and it's on a creek, and it just looks like a nice area. In the future, we're also going We have one in South Carolina that was at like it's got an on-site winery or distillery. Um, and it looks like just unique stuff. And I like that. It's a little bit more expensive than I'm used to, but it's not like resort type expensive. But I like that. Let's see. Just updating on the comments here. Mary, how did you like Pensacola? Did you see the Blue Angels? Well, there was a little problem with that. I did like Pensacola. We liked it a lot. We went to Fort Pickens. We got a couple of videos on that. And we stayed at a couple of really nice places in Montgomery on the way down and on the way back. But the problem, we did see him practicing a little bit. One of the things that I really wanted to do while we were there is we wanted to go and see the museum down there, because I like flight and space type stuff. And so that's one of the things that's always been on my bucket list. And I've been by it a few times and I've never stopped. And so the bridge was down after the hurricane, which I think is the only reason that we were able to get reservations in Fort Pickens, because they were all canceled out from the hurricane. And so oh, look at that. My wife might be in Facebook jail, but she's commenting on my YouTube video. Anyway, so we went all the way around because the bridge was down from there to the city because of the hurricane. And we went all the way to the Navy base, and then they said that it was open, but that we couldn't go in because it was only open to people who had base access. And I was like, I really wish somebody would have told me this, because basically we wasted a whole day of sunlight to go over there, because in January it gets dark at like 4:45, 5 o'clock. And it took a while to get all the way around there. But overall, we really like the area. Let's see. Southern Utah and northern Arizona. I really need to get out west more. This is just going to be like a dipping our toe in. I know that. How many miles a day we plan on driving those long trips? Well, what we're going to do, usually when we go to Michigan, we have been breaking it up overnight. And so it's about 800 miles. But we usually get there pretty early the next day. What my plan is when we go out west is that we're going to leave here in Southeast Tennessee, and we're going to take about 2 days to get to the Badlands. And so after those 2 days, we're going to stay there for 2 days, and then we're going to drive a whole nother day. And I can't remember exactly how many miles a day that is, but it equated to, I think, about 9 hours of driving 9 hours of driving per day over 3 days, which again is like perfect world scenario. I'm sure that some days will go longer and some days will be shorter, which is also why whenever I would get her a ticket to come home, if that's what we have to do, I allowed a 4th day for me to get back, because it's just a lot of driving. Already 97 in Arizona. Ooh. I've got some family that lives out there. The only place that I've been west of, I've been to St. Louis, Missouri one time, but west of Tennessee, I've been pretty much a lot of the way through I-75 from the north to the south. But I've never been very far west except for when we went to Seattle, and I wasn't a huge fan. Adam said the Copilot app's also good for RV GPS. I've never had this many people on a live stream. I really wouldn't plan on staying on here this long. Let's see. Van Vita joined us. Welcome to the party. Good guy says, yeah, I keep doing the campground reviews. Man, I'm sorry all those campsites are taken, but there's some pretty nice areas out there. Hello, Spaceman Dudley. Paula says she likes the update repair videos. Well, my neighbor pointed out that I'm the only person she knows ever bought a new camper and works on it constantly. We have some stuff coming up. Obviously, we got one coming up about using the body shop since we messed our camper up. we got I got one about how to tape the underbelly up because I did that incorrectly in the past. We got one about knowing how much propane you got. I got one about adding an RV inlet so we can get the 15 amp power out the post in the camper because I decided to add a portable air conditioner in the camper, which is also a heater and a dehumidifier. I kind of like that. I've not really got to use it because the one trip that I've had it completed on, we were boondocking, so we didn't have that 15 amp service, obviously. So all I've played with it with so far is to just on the generator, which defeats the whole purpose of why I did it. Yes, my wife's been making chocolate bunnies that are filled with peanut butter and like her own Reese egg type concoction, which were pretty good because I might have broke my keto for a little bit. Let's see. Yes, Lisa, I announced the winner a little while back. It was Daniel Tatro, who is a member of one of our Facebook groups. Middle Tennessee. You know, we get to Middle Tennessee a little bit. You know, I find somewhere new every other weekend, and so we are gradually expanding our scope. I try to stay within 2 hours of Chattanooga. I've done a lot of backpacking in Middle Tennessee, but I've not done a lot of RV camping. And we do have good guy. We have a trip planned to Tim's Ford to the what's it called, the Fairview campground. If you want to send me an email at thegimpycamper@gmail.com, I will get with you and tell you when those dates are, see if we can make it work. Michael, best time to travel in Tennessee? Well, I would say the fall or the spring. I personally love winter camping, but our winters are fairly mild here. We hardly have snow in most of Tennessee. And, you know, it might drop down to like 20 at night, but it's not horrible. Paula says she needs to add a cell booster. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on there. I'm starting to realize that that might be something that we need to do. You know, I'm one of these people that I do like to be connected when we're out because a lot of times I'm working on stuff like this. And I've been looking at the Drive, WeBoost Drive, but then I started looking at, you know, what's the cell service, Starlink, the satellite service. Right now, it's just in beta in the northern states, but it should be countrywide, almost worldwide by the end of the year. So I kind of started thinking about that a little bit, but it's a little bit more of a monthly fee that I wanted to. At the same time, the things that I've looked at on that is that right now, you know, you have to be in a certain cell, which is like a district. And if you go out of that, it won't recognize your satellite dish. But if you can go in and you can call them and they can update your location and then it'll show up again as long as you're in an area where that has service. But apparently that takes a couple of days right now. So even if you're in the northern states, you know, it's not too good for RVers. So who knows how all that's going to work out in the future. But it looks like a pretty decent service if you're going to be in one spot for a while and they have service there. But yeah, I'm starting to kick around the idea of the cell booster too. One point in time, I was thinking about a Wi-Fi booster, but I pretty much gave up on Wi-Fi when camping because it's just like any campground that we've ever been to. I think I've been to one, and that was at um, Cumberland Mountain State Park, where we actually used the Wi-Fi over the cell service because it actually was a little bit faster. ARV tips and travels, what's going on? Yeah, Spaceman Dudley points out, Michael, that Pigeon Forge and the Smokies have been really busy this season. You know, like I say, we're going up there this weekend. I'm going to be truthfully honest with you. We don't really like that area, and it's because of the tourism. I mean, it's just how it is. It's a beautiful area, but it's all commercialized. If you get back in the national park, you know, it's a little nicer. In some of the campgrounds and stuff like Kate's Cove, we had a nice time up there, but you still have to deal with a lot of crowds. It's not as bad in those areas because they're not, they don't have hookups there. So a lot of people don't overcrowd those as much, but you know, so they still stay pretty busy. And we just don't like all the commercialism. We're spending more time there this year because we got season Dollywood tickets. That's one of the things that we do like to do in the area. But they're useless this weekend because apparently you have to do online reservation for Dollywood right now, even if you have season passes. If you buy just the regular pass, apparently that is your reservation. But if you have season passes, you got to get on and you got to make a reservation. And apparently, last time we did this, my wife said you could only do that 2 days ahead of time. And so this time we got on there. Granted, I waited till last night because I really wasn't thinking about it being this weekend. But she said that before it only took 48 hours in advance anyway, but now it's 45 days. And so we're going from Thursday to Monday. And the only day that I can make a reservation for is Thursday. Well, if I wait for my daughter to get home from school on Thursday and then we go up there, they close at 6 o'clock apparently, so it wouldn't work anyway. Hopefully, we'll get more use out of them. But we did decide because a lot of people do ask where we recommend to camp a lot of times in that area because I understand that a lot of people do like it. And so, since we have the season tickets, we decided to go there more this year. Let's Yeah, thanks, Thomas. Thanks for pointing that out. I really do have to do better. Oh, by the way, I don't know if anybody saw my community post a couple of weeks ago, but it was the 10-year anniversary of my back injury last week. It was on the 11th. And so I don't know how many of you even know the story, but I did a video a long time ago. But basically, I have partial paralysis of my calf muscles, which is where this comes in. And so I can't stand on my tiptoes and I walk a little funny. But it could be a lot worse because I do go on backpacking trips every now and then. That's how I got into camping. And usually make videos about it that nobody watches. Not RV tips and travels. I think we're We've been on this about 35 minutes. Well, I think that about wraps up everything that I was going to talk about. We actually kind of went into some more stuff. So anybody else has any questions, we can answer them real quick. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. All right, guys. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting us. And we will get with Daniel about this Tireminder that he won. And hope to see you guys around. And thanks for watching our videos and giving us the support.